everybody, it's Justin. How you doing today? So let's go ahead and talk about debt. Good debt versus bad debt. What is the right thing to do? Should anyone go into debt for anything? Some people will say debt's bad, that you should never, ever, ever do it. Some people will say it's the greatest thing ever. We want to be very blunt. Our whole financial system is based off of debt. We are in a debt-based fiat currency system. And in essence, our economy and our world really would not function at all. It would collapse if people did not take out debt. Is that good? Is that bad? That's a whole other story. The point is that you and I as a consumer should look at debt differently than, let's say, a large corporation or, a blue chip company, right? You and I, we should never spend our money on consumer purchases with debt, right? Grocery stores, vacations, flat screens, TVs. Do not put it on debt. Why? Because you're not going to get a return on investment. I mean, we all need food. I guess you could say that's a return on investment, is living. But the point what I'm trying to make here is if you're going to have something, right, you want to take out a loan for something like real estate, like a rental property. If you don't have any money, right, you can't buy any real estate because you're broke. But maybe you could take out a loan, get a property, and after your monthly expenses and your down payment, you could be cash flowing a positive amount, right? If you have a 5%, interest rate on a loan, and you have to end up paying that, but you're making, let's say, 6 or 7%, even 8%. Hell, I mean, I've made, something like 12% before on real estate as far as returns, and it doesn't even matter. You're positive. The point is that asset is paying down the debt for you and giving you a bonus so that you can end up, making a profit and putting money in your own pocket to become wealthier. You can do this for anything. You could rent out, construction machinery, and then as long as, you're making more than your payments, or you could rent out a vehicle, you could rent out, you name it, anything. It's the power of assets. And, in this scenario, this type of debt can be very good. Now, here's the thing. You have to know for a fact that your asset is going to be able to pay you back over time, and it will consistently generate those profits with a high degree of certainty and probability, right? You could also take out, debt to buy a lottery ticket. I mean, you might be able to make a lot of money off of that. That could be some of the highest, returns of any investment in history. Use a credit card, you pay $5 or something for a lottery ticket, and then next thing you know, I think right now it's like at $1 billion. That's phenomenal. But the point is you have very, very, very little probability of actually getting that money back. Or, same thing as if you, I don't know, what else is something horrible to invest money in? You can invest money in a rocket that explores outer space to find gold to return, gold back to Earth. I mean, that probably wouldn't be a good investment either. But anyway, this is getting kind of silly. My point is that as long as you have a good asset, right, that you take out debt on, you can become very wealthy because it's passive income for you a lot of times. You'll make way more doing that than you could ever make, in person. Let's say what's the highest paying jobs you can get on planet Earth? It's probably a professional athlete, right? Or a rock star or, performer or something like that. They might make like 20, 30 something $million a year. But if you think about it, there's a lot of assets in the world. If you owned a large enough piece of real estate, like let's say the Mall of America, or if you had another asset, like you could even do farmland if you had enough of it. Take out the debt, have people work it for you, and I mean, you could end up having a way more relaxed life than an athlete or whatever. You wouldn't have to go work out and train as much as they do. But anyway, my point is that anyone can do it over time. And make a lot of money with investments using debt. Now, the really important part is, when do you take out the debt? As far as how do you know your investment's going to do well, right? Well, you can look at your numbers. There's always a good deal out there somewhere that cash flows correctly and that ends up doing well as far as profits. Now, this next part is a little more nuanced, is that you have a higher probability of doing well with your investments if you buy them in the right cycle of the economy. Meaning, if you do it, let's say, when real estate is at a top, which some people will say it was earlier this year, you're very unlikely to end up, guaranteed that you'll be able to make that payment every month for the rest of the, term of the loan and profiting. Because it's very likely real estate prices could go down, and it could bring down the cost of rents along with it. So you have to know your numbers. And then on top of that, you've got other times in the economy where the Federal Reserve is tightening monetary policy. And in these scenarios, it tends to drag down the value of everything because there's less currency floating around. And when there's less currency, there's less opportunities for people to buy things. If just people have less cash in general, because the Federal Reserve is sucking it out of the system, then it's less likely that people will have as much money to buy your stuff, or pay for your real estate, etc. So right now, personally, I am not taking in any new real estate until this tightening period is ending with the Federal Reserve. It's also going to be good because it will bring asset prices down, and it will make it so that I'll be able to get better deals. Now, for the time, cash is king because everything's becoming slowly cheaper. Right now, it's just a couple assets that are coming down. Consumers items like food and energy, those are still going up. And they still will be going up for a while for a lot of reasons. But as it goes right now, all I'm doing is I'm just taking my money and I'm buying all of my consumer goods in bulk to lock in my prices to try and make sure that I don't get eroded away with consumer price inflation, and then save up as much cash and commodity assets that I can to be able to take advantage of other, cash flowing assets in the future, like real estate, farmland, different types of equipment that you can rent out, etc. And so, is debt good or bad? It's both. It's what you use it on. Other than that, tell me what you think. Are you for debt, against debt? Are you in a lot of debt? Do you have no debt? Personally, I don't want really any personal debt at all. I'd rather all my debt be, under a business or an LLC so that I'm insulated from it. But anyway, that's all I have for today. And you guys take care.